Sa episode na ito ay papaliwanag namin kung ano ba ang pwede ninyong gawin para labanan ang fake news.
Paano ba malalaman kung fake news ang mga nababasa at nakikita nyo online? Kasama yan sa pag-uusapan natin kung paano kilatisin o suriin ang mga nakikita nyo online.
At bakit importanteng makialam ang kabataan sa advokasya natin laban sa fake news? Ito ang ipinaliwanag namin sa isang forum na inorganisa ng Youth Leaders of the Philippines na ipapakita namin dito sa Trabaho at Iba Pa sa Iba Tayong Pinoy.
Hello everyone, good morning from United Kingdom and good evening Philippines. My name is E. I am the founder of the Youth Leaders of the Philippines and welcome to the first episode of our webinar series dito sa aming group. We are very happy and honored na nakakasama namin kayo today in this activity. And we are also very excited because today we will talk about a very relevant topic sa panahon natin ngayon. And by the way, I will be moderating this and I will be joined by one of the youngest book author that I know, one of the core group members, founding members of the Youth Leaders of the Philippines, Aliyah, all the way from Ilocos. Aliyah, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, good evening from Ilocos Sur, particularly here in Vigan. So for today, Kuya E, so we are currently having our first episode for YLP Connect, a webinar series for youth. So for today, Kuya E, our topic is all about fighting disinformation for the TikTok generation. So I'm sure madaming interested sa topic natin ngayon kasi it's all about fighting disinformation. Tapos TikTok, it's so in right now, diba?
And not only that, as youth leaders, not only of the Philippines, pero as youth leaders in general, we should know and dapat aware tayo kung what we are trying to convey in our messages, particularly in the time of social media, ay legit news ba o fake news. Kasi lalo na as youth leaders, you have your own followership, meron na rin kayong mga nakakasama sa inyong mga work and sa inyong mga projects and you already have that credibility. And baka hindi natin alam na yung ating sinishare ay fake news pala and it will really affect not only the organization that we belong but our credibility as leaders as well. Hence, this is very, very important. Ikaw, Aliyah, may TikTok ka ba?
Meron, Kuya, pero once lang ako nag-TikTok. So TikTok is not for me. So tama nga yung sinabi mo, Kuya, right now. As we face the pandemic, we also face an infodemic. So, talagang maganda yung topic natin today and it is really relevant, especially for youth leaders right now. So, Kuya E, let's start.
Okay. Actually, hindi lang naman TikTok kasi ang ginagamit ng mga tao ngayon. TikTok is one of the platforms that people use. But we also have the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And in general, itong social media platform ay kailangan maintindihan natin na mas maayos. And we have to be more responsible in using it. To formally start, to give us a program or project overview, how this happened, what are we expecting for today, we will be briefed by the co-founder of the Youth Leaders of the Philippines. He's a senior reporter, I should say, for ABS-CBN and a news anchor as well. Please welcome the co-founder of the YLP, Pia Gutierrez.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us here. Thank you, Errol. Thank you, Aliyah, for this introduction. It has always been a dream of mine and Errol as well to start a series of webinars dedicated solely for the youth. So I am very honored to start this YLP Talks with something that is very close to my heart as a journalist. Episode 1 of our YLP Talk is all about fighting disinformation for the TikTok generation. And in the course of our discussion today, we hope to delve more on how the problem of disinformation and fake news, especially those being shared on social media, is affecting all our lives and what the youth can do to fight it and educate other people as well. So we have in our panel 3 amazing journalists from TV5, and educating our audiences, particularly the youth, is also their passion and advocacy. So please enjoy our talks at Sabay-Sabay Tayong Matuto, and I look forward to have a very meaningful conversation tonight. Errol, Aliyah?
Thank you very much, Ate Pia, for those warm words of welcome. So, Kuya E, are you ready for our first episode?
Introduce our first guest. Sobrang excited ko kasi not only she is a top caliber journalist and she's also a very good friend of ours. Sige, please join Aliyah. Aliyah, introduce our first speaker.
Yes, Kuya. So, for our viewers on Facebook and here in Zoom right now, we invited 3 sakalam speakers for everybody to share their expertise for us. So, our first speaker is a news anchor and senior correspondent of TV5 covering the Malacanang beat. She is currently doing hourly news breaks and previously anchored Action Weekend and Pilipinas News Weekend on TV5. She co-hosted public affairs shows like Angulo and Documentado. She also served as the executive producer and radio anchor of Ibayong Pinoy on Radio 5 92.3 News FM. She has earned units in her master's degree on media studies, major in journalism at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She also took earning units in teacher education at the Marikina Institute of Science and Technology and passed the licensure examination for teachers. She graduated cum laude in broadcast communications from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Wow, ang sipag naman mag-aral ng first speaker natin for today. So guys, hindi ko na patatagalin pa. Let us all welcome Ms. Maricel Halili. So, Ms. Maricel, please take away the Zoom floor.
Hi, magandang gabi. Good morning dyan sa United Kingdom and social, international tayo. And good evening sa atin dito sa mga kababayan natin at sa viewers natin dito sa Pilipinas. Thanks, Aliyah, for introducing me. Alam mo, Errol, excited din ako na magsalita today kasi when Tia told me kung ano yung topic, about fake news. Ito yung specific topic na malapit din sa puso ko bilang journalist. Kasi alam nyo, bilang isang journalist, isa talaga dun sa mga objective natin is to fight fake news. Kasi napakalaki ng impact niya sa audience, sa public as a general, na hindi nare-realize ng ibang mga tao kung gaano kalalim yung implikasyon niya. Lalo na ngayon na very popular yung social media. Based nga doon sa research, pag-aaral ng Reuters, yung kanilang digital research, back in 2014, nakikita na nila yung popularity ng Facebook at saka ng YouTube when it comes doon sa pagiging source ng news. And eventually, syempre, ngayon, mas dumadami o mas lumalawak yung gumagamit ng social media, especially now, sa young generation. Sumisikat na rin yung mga the likes of Instagram. Of course, Instagram, ang maker din naman niya is also Facebook. There's also the Twitter. And ngayon, meron din lumalabas na TikTok. Pero dito lang ba nakalimit yung pagpapakalat natin ng information? Hindi. Kasi meron din tayong mga chat rooms, meron tayong mga thread, merong Viber, merong Messenger. So may isip mo ngayon, napakadali na magpakalat ng information. At napakadali rin na mapapaniwala yung mga nagbabasa, yung mga nakakarinig ng balita, na totoo yung information na nakukuha nila. Kahit na kung minsan, yung mga nasa salabid nila na mga impormasyon, fake news pala. So una sa lahat, siguro mas maganda i-define muna natin, what do we mean by fake news? When we say fake news, ito yung mga istorya, articles, mga information na lumalabas whether on television, on radio, on print, on social media, na ang objective o ang layunin is to mislead the audience. Kumbaga, yung ipinaparating nila na information is not the real or not yung factual information that we need to know. Meron silang hidden agenda behind the information that they disseminate. So, very dangerous siya, especially dun sa mga audience na wala rin namang background story or wala rin namang sapat na kaalaman tungkol dun sa istorya na dinidecipher o ipinapadecipher sa kanila. Pero bakit nga ba kumakalat yung mga fake news? Iba't iba actually yung objective ng mga tao na nagpapakalat ng fake news. But in general, merong two objectives kung bakit kumakalat yung fake news na yan. First, nandun tayo sa business aspect or yung financial side. May mga pagkakataon kasi na yung mga nagkakalat ng fake news, kumikita or nag-earn ng money because of that particular information na ipinapakalat nila. Sa paanong paraan? For example, two competitors, business group for example. Yung isa, si Group A, magpapakalat ng paninira kay Group B. Siyempre, ang magiging advantage nun, mapupunta kay Group A. For example, before, may mga kumakalat na balita about a certain fast food restaurant, hindi ko nasasabihin kung ano, na nagsiserve daw sila ng chicken, pero pag open ng chicken, daga pala yung laman. Hindi ba? So yung mga issues like this, are these stories confirmed? We do not know. Kasi hindi naman natin alam kung sino ba yung naging source ng storya na instead na fried chicken yung lumabas dun sa fast food na in-order, biglang daga pala yung laman. But obviously, ang nakikinabang nun, yung direct competitor. Sino ba yung direct competitor ng fast food chain na yon? So you see, meron siyang ganong aspeto kaya nagpapakalat. That's the first one. Number two is the political side or kumbaga yung power, struggle for power. Especially now na malapit na yung campaign season, magkakaroon na tayo ng election next year na yon, hindi ba? So dito na nagiging mas rampant yung pagkalat ng fake news. Why? Kasi one of the objectives kung bakit sila nagpapakalat ng fake news is because they want to discredit a particular person or they want to discredit, they want to ruin the credibility of a political figure. Kasi once na nasira yung kredibilidad ng tao na yon, ang boto mapupunta syempre sa kalaban. So estilo siya, two aspects, business and politics. Pero bakit importante for young generations like Aliyah, like us, for youth, like us? O, sinama ko yung sarili ko. Why is it important for us to be aware of these, of the dissemination of fake news? Kasi importante na mapigilan natin yung pagkalat. Napakadelikado kasi niya. Gaano siya kadelikado? Nitong mga nakalipas na buwan, since last year, isa sa pinakamalaking concern, not only of the Philippines, but of the whole world, is the pandemic. Yung crisis natin sa COVID-19. So makikita mo, simula nang pumutok yung pandemic na yan, napakarami rin na kumakalat ng fake news. Unang-una na, dun sa kumakalat na fake news, yung tungkol sa lockdown. Bago pa man magkaroon ng anunsyo, ang Interagency Task Force o yung Malacanang, kung ano ba yung magiging quarantine classification natin. Mapapansin mo yan, just a few days before the announcement, may mga kumakalat na either sa Messenger, hindi nga, kahit nga sabihin mo, yes, may mga nagpo-post sa Twitter, may nagpo-post sa Facebook, or kahit na anong form ng social media, nung mga inilabas allegedly na resolution ng IATF na declaration daw of a particular, of declaration of lockdown on a particular area. Laging may mga lumalabas na ganyan eh. At ang danger dyan, kumakalat din siya dun sa mga Viber thread, dun sa mga messenger, so ang hirap-hirap i-control. Kumakalat ito bago pa yung announcement ng Malacanang. So, kung matatandaan ninyo, unang lumabas dyan, nako, magkakaroon daw ng lockdown. ipapasara daw even yung mga supermarkets, even yung mga wet markets, yung mga bangko. Anong naging resulta dahil sa pagkalat ng fake news na ito na ipapasara daw yung mga establishments? Ang resulta, nagkaroon tayo ng panic buying. Maraming mga tao yung nagsuguran sa mga supermarket para mamili ng mga pagkain nila dahil sa takot magutom. Bumili sila ng mga pagkain na good for 2 weeks, good for 1 month. Sinong kawawa? Siyempre, ang kawawa, yung mga walang pambili. Kasi ang nangyayari dyan, dahil doon sa panic buying ng mga tao na may pambili, nag-create tayo ng artificial shortage. Anong ibig sabihin natin sa artificial shortage ng mga products? Kahit na sapat naman yung pinoproduce na product like alcohol o mga delata ng mga factories, lumalabas tuloy na pagpunta natin ng supermarket, wala tayong mabiling mga delata, wala tayong mabiling alcohol. Paano? Yung usual na bumibili ng isang bote lang dahil sa panic buying, bumili ng 12. Maswerte ka kung meron kang savings para makabili ng good for 2 weeks, 1 month. Paano yung mga mahihirap na isang kahig isang tuka? Yung budget nila good for a day lang. And then after that, wala na. Wala rin naman silang kakayahan na bumili ng ganong karami. So ang ending, sila yung kawawa. So you see the danger kapag tumutulong tayo sa pag-disseminate ng fake news, ng fake information, nag-create tayo ng artificial chaos, ng artificial crisis na kung tutuusin, pwede naman nating agapan. So why is it important for the young generation to understand the importance na pigilan natin yung paggalat ng fake news? Kasi ang pinakang fan or follower or users ng social media, majority, young generation. Di ba, Aliyah? Mga TikTok generation. Yung mga boomer, gumagamit din naman sila ng social media. But not as often as the younger generation. Hindi naman lahat ng mga boomer, parang si Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin, na very active sa paggamit ng Twitter. Karamihan sa kanila, dependent pa rin dun sa mga traditional media channels. But of course, meron pa rin mga lumalabas dyan na mga fake news. So dahil dito sa mga danger na to, we have to be careful, especially now. Kung mag-start na rin kayo na maging voter sa susunod na taon, baka marami sa inyo, mga nasa 18 years old na rin, legal age. We have to have a critical thinking in choosing the candidate. Baka mamaya may mga nilalabas lang na propaganda. Alam mo sa amin sa mass communication, kapag sinabi natin na propaganda, ang isang term namin dyan, puro paganda. Kasi kumbaga, pag naglabas ng propaganda yung isang grupo, ibig sabihin yan, puro pabango sa pangalan nila. Kumbaga, nawawala yung factual information that the people need to know, 'di ba? Para makaboto tayo ng matalino. So, ito yung nakikita nating danger. Marami pa tayong mga dapat pag-usapan tungkol sa fake news. Kabilang na nga dyan yung mga paraan on how to identify the fake news, hindi ba? Paano natin pipigilan? But I understand yung mga kasama ko later will discuss these issues. And I will be answering some of your questions too.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maricel.
That was a very informative one. Ang dami ko napulot. Aliyah, ano ang takeaway mo sa discuss ni Miss Maset?
May isa akong napulot dun, kuya, tawang-tawa ako kasi ang habe, yung propaganda pala, puro paganda. So, ang habe nun. And talaga namang yung takeaway ko for Miss Maricel's talk, kuya, is that hindi natin nare-realize na ang fake news or disinformation is a root cause of different problems such as problems on business or in politics or right now in this pandemic. So madami talagang problems na nagba-branch out because of fake news or fake information. Di ba, Kuya E?
Yes. Tuloy na natin. Diretso na tayo sa ating second
Kuya.
speaker.
Okay. So our second speaker is bigatin din siya, guys. So she is a broadcast journalist who has reported stories on politics, judiciary, crime, and disaster. She covered several armed conflicts in Mindanao that led to widespread displacement as well as infrastructure damage. She used to anchor a radio program in Radio 5 and is currently assigned at the Department of Justice, Supreme Court, and the National Bureau of Investigation. Wow, ang tapang naman ng next speaker natin, Kuya E. So everyone, let us all welcome Miss Marlene Alcaide.
Hi, good evening. So, sino ba sa inyo yung may TikTok at active sa TikTok ngayon? Ikaw, Aliyah, meron ba? Or active ka ba?
Ako, Miss Marlene, may TikTok account ako pero once lang akong gumamit.
Bakit? Alam mo ba nga, ngayon may nauusong COVID-19 vaccine magnet challenge online. Diyan yan sa TikTok. So, may mga nagtatry na yan kasi meron kadugtong yan ng information na kumakalat na yung COVID-19 vaccine daw contains microchips. So, may maglalagay ng magnet sa balikat kung saan kayo binakunahan, tapos didikit daw yung magnet. So, may mga nababasa ako na nagsasabi na depende daw sa brand ng bakuna kung didikit yung magnet doon sa part kung saan kayo nabakunahan. So, syempre, kayo, naniniwala ba kayo dyan? Diba? Parang, pag ikaw inisip mo, bakit naman didikit yung magnet dito sa braso mo, di ba? May mga matatawa sa inyo, may mga nag-iisip na imposible yan. Pero meron din namang mga napaisip o posible kaya na baka pwede o kaya pwedeng may naniwala. Diba? Depende yan sa tao. Kaya yung Department of Health recently, agad nilang nilinaw yan. Wala raw katotohanan yan, fake news daw yan dahil walang microchips, magnet o kaya naman tracker ang mga bakuna na itinuturok sa atin. So ibig sabihin, hindi yan totoo at ayon yan mismo sa Department of Health. Pero yung example ko na yan, na may pa-challenge pa, madali lang kilatisin yan kung totoo yan o hindi. Kung fake news ba yan o disinformation ba yan, di ba? Pero meron kasing mga ibang news article o disinformation na article na o kaya infographics na mukhang simple yung mensahe pero mabilis kumakalat tsaka mag-viral sa social media. Di ba kanina nagbigay ng information si Ate Maset at tsaka isang information na alam niyo yung mga information na hindi ka makapaniwala o kaya nagugulat ka o may duda ka. So, di ba minsan may mga nababasa kayong ganyan sa social media. So, pwedeng yung mga information na yun tungkol nga sa COVID-19, pwede tungkol sa mga politika o kaya naman politiko na nagtitrigger sa emotions mo o pwedeng makasira sa pagkatao ng isang personalidad o kaya politiko. So, bago tayo mag-share or mag-retweet ng mga information, mas maganda kung mag-isip muna tayo sandali at ask yourself kung totoo ba ito o baka naman disinformation or fake news lang ito. Pero ang tanong, paano ba ninyo malalaman o madidetect kung disinformation o fake news yung nakikita nyong mga o nababasa nyo online? Una, ang mahalagang gawin, alamin yung source ng information. So, credible ba yan? Reliable ba yung source nyo? Galing ba ito sa isang legitimate na news organization? Pag for example, may nakalagay na, kunyari, galing sa World Health Organization or sa Department of Health, for example, maganda na kung hindi kayo sigurado dun sa laman ng information, i-click nyo yung link, no? O kaya yung website talaga ng mga government agencies na ito, for example, at i-check nyo o i-verify nyo kung meron ba talagang ganong information na nakalagay. Maganda rin na i-check nyo yung web address, baka may iba yung spelling or parang nililigaw lang kayo ng link pero hindi naman talaga yun yung totoong source of information. So, mahalaga rin no, na kilalanin o kaya alamin din sino yung nagsulat ng storya o kaya naman may nakalagay bang pangalan ng writer or familiar ba kayo doon sa pangalan o kaya pwede din na i-check nyo yung kung totoong tao kaya yung nagsulat na yon or yung nag-post ng isang information na nakita ninyo. So, for example, pwede nyo i-check kung may Twitter sila, kung may Facebook sila, at saka importante rin na basahin nyo yung article, ano? Hindi lang yung headline. Kung ano-ano yung facts na nakalagay doon, i-check nyo rin yung spelling kasi minsan kahit yung punctuation or yung grammar, mapapansin nyo dun pa lang sa mga simpleng bagay na yon, pwede ka nang magduda na, okay, sino bang may gawa nito at bakit ganito? Parang may mali yata. So, pag mga ganon, medyo magduda ka na, parang warning na rin yun. Tapos, pwede mo rin, para din ma-verify, pwede mo rin i-search online yung information or yung claim na nabasa mo. Baka makita mo yung original source na information doon at i-check nyo kung pareho or magmamatch ba or tutugma ba yung information na nabasa nyo doon sa original article na galing doon sa reputable news source. Tapos alam nyo, mag-cross-check din kayo, may iba pa ba nga nagbalita nito? Halimbawa, may isang, for example, isang topic about COVID-19. May isang mainstream media na nag-report nito at pwede nyo rin i-check sa ibang mga news organizations kasi malamang pag malaki yung balita at mahalagang information, kadalasan ay ipini-press conference naman yan at saka nagpo-post din sila sa kanilang mga website. So, sunod, kailan ba yung article or yung information mo mahalaga rin na i-check mo kaya kailangan mo siya na baka kasi recycle lang tapos ginawang misleading lang yung mga ibang information. So importante rin na i-check nyo yung profile o kaya naman yung picture na kasama doon sa article o kahit yung profile na nag-post. Ang ilang disinformation online na gumagamit ng mga old photos naman, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga reverse image search, yung mga tools, may mga tools naman online para malaman kung saan unang ginamit yung picture, kung makikita nyo kung galing ba to sa ibang article, tapos pwede nyo i-compare or in-edit lang ba yan. Tapos maganda rin na pinakamahalaga din na simulan nyo sa sarili nyo, parang develop a critical mindset, maging mapanuri ka doon sa mga nababasa mo online. So, 'di ba parang pag inisip mo parang ang dami mo naman kailangan gawin, kailangan pa ba na pag may nakita ko online, ikaw pa yung mag-verify, mag-double check ng mga information, ilang information like yung source, 'di ba? Pero ang dami 'di ba parang sasabihin mo, ang dami-dami mo nang ginagawa, wala ba kayong time o wala na kayong time para gawin 'yan. Pero kung hindi ka sigurado doon sa information na nabasa mo o nakita mo online, huwag ka na lang mag-share, lalo na yung nabasa natin na alam natin na makakaapekto o malaki yung magiging impact doon sa marami sa atin. Lalo na kung alam mo sa sarili mo na may pagdududa ka or hindi doon sa information na nabasa mo. So, tandaan nyo yung disinformation na pinapakalat yan to trigger yung emotional response, yung mga sariling agenda yan tulad ng sinabi natin Masaya kanina, kung bakit sila nagpapakalat ng misinformation or disinformation o kaya fake news. So, huwag tayong magpagamit. Mahalaga na i-check yung source ng information, maganda na ma-verify natin yon at saka, medyo mag-effort talaga tayo, mag-research para at least sigurado ka at na yung information na i-share mo o sasabihin mo sa iba ay totoo. So, yun nga, bakit mo kailangan mag-effort? Para makatulong ka na hindi kumalat yung mga ganitong klaseng disinformation. Kasi sa panahon ngayon, hindi naman lahat ng nakikita natin sa social media ay totoo, di ba? Kaya para hindi tayo maloko, dahil ayaw din natin ang niloloko, mahalaga na mag-isip muna tayo, di ba? Think before you share. So, kailangan pag may nabasa ka, mag-stop ka muna, and yun nga, isipin nyo muna bago kayo mag-share.
Thank you very much, Miss Marlene, for sharing your expertise on that topic. So, Kuya E, may takeaways ka ba from Miss Marlene's?
Actually, kung napansin mo, very concise yung kanilang mga messages, pero direct to the point. I really like the you think before you click. At ang pinaka-importante sa tingin ko yung maging mapanuri ka. It is important that you develop, as a young leader, develop that kind of trait. Or probably a habit that ikaw mismo, you will know kung fake news o hindi yung binabasa mo. You know? Kailangan mong suriin. Dito sa UK, napakalaking issue niyang logical and critical thinking. You really have to analyze things all the time para hindi ka maging victim niya. So if you have questions, you can always just throw them sa ating comment section or you can put them on the chat. Later on, after this, we will have an open forum. Excited na ako sa ating third speaker. Thank you, by the way, sa ating first two speakers. Ang ganda ng kanilang mga Very short pero talagang impactful. Aliyah, ready na ba tayo sa ating
Yes, Kuya. Yes, Kuya. Pero bago tayo pumunta doon, I'll just share my takeaways din.
Oh yeah,
So,
of course.
talaga
Alright.
yeah. So, talaga dapat nating i-check yung sources natin, especially with the headlines for the pages, or di kaya yung sino nagsulat nito, or especially for the dates. Actually, Kuya Ino, na-try ko na rin yan. Kasi before, mali yung nalagay nilang pangalan sa article. Sa article about me. My name is Aliyah Nicole Sayo, pero ang linagay nila, Eliza Nicole Suyo. Di ba ang layo? So nakaka-relate talaga ako kanina dun sa sinabi ni Miss Marlene na dapat din i-check natin yung mga names. So dapat we should really check our sources. And yung fake news kasi para din siyang COVID-19, madali rin siyang kumalat at minsan mahirap agapan. So, Kuya E, let's proceed to our third speaker.
For that, I'd like to add something.
Yeah.
Ang ating magandang takeaway doon is that always look at the date. Sometimes,
Yes.
reading headlines and titles, grabe minsan very creative ang mga nagpo-post nito because they would like, syempre, ang yan ang purpose nila eh. They use it for propaganda or they want to spread that particular fake news. Nagkakaroon sila ng very catchy na headline, very, very catchy, na hindi mo mapapansin na yung date ng original article was like 2 years ago. O date ng original article was probably 3 years ago. So very, very important yan na we really have to check the date. And syempre, hindi lang naman yon. That is one of the way of looking at the particular article, if it is updated or if the particular article is real or not. Pero one of the things na kailangan natin i-check yung date. So thank you sa ating speaker. Okay, Aliyah, let's move on to our third and last speaker.
So, okay, Kuya E. Our third speaker is a broadcast journalist for almost a decade and has reported stories on politics, international relations, labor issues, judiciary, and the business sector. His notable works include special reports about the Rohingyas in Bangladesh, the US-Philippines-China relationship where he had the opportunity to visit China and the US. My God, sana all! As well as stories that feature mental health problems in the country. He has extensively covered the West Philippine Sea issue while he was covering the DFA, while his stories when he was at the Justice Beat include the co-quaranto case of former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno and the Presidential Electoral Tribunal case between VP Leni Robredo and former Senator Bongbong Marcos. Aside from his reportorial job with TV5 Network, he currently teaches communication courses at the Far Eastern University in Manila and the Assumption College in Makati. Before going back to the broadcasting industry, he has also worked as a communications practitioner with responsibilities ranging from media relations to being regional spokesperson. Wow! So let us all welcome the thorn among the roses sa ating speaker, Mr. Dale De Vera. Mr. Dale, take it away.
Before we start, I would like to share this quote that I got from a foreign writer, which says, "Everyone has a responsibility to combat the scourge of fake news." Kumbaga, we should not allow society to put the burden to the younger generation. Kumbaga, to fight fake news. Hindi naman, katulad nga yung sinabi ni Madison kanina, hindi yung mga boomers, hindi naman sila lang yung kumbaga, technologically challenged, and they too can help in fighting yung pag-spread ng disinformation and even yung mga fake news, di ba? First and foremost, how can you as a public protect yourself from false news or disinformation? One, katulad ng sinabi ni Martin kanina, you need to follow a diverse group of people and perspectives. Hindi pwedeng small group lang or one person lang yung magiging source of information ninyo. Tendency is kapag ka na-attach ka doon sa isang grupo, malilimit yung range of materials na available sa'yo. Kumbaga, kung anong ibigay sa'yo, kung ano yung makita mo na sinulat nila or ipinost nila online, iisipin mo, yun na lang yung information. Kaya it's very important to get different perspectives or to get your sources from different people. This method may not be entirely foolproof dahil siyempre hindi naman porket marami kang source yun agad yung hindi na agad fake news yung nababasa mo. There will always be a time na siyempre hindi kumbaga yung nabasa mo may be well balanced but still na change pa rin yung direction towards doon na sa sinasabi na propaganda. Second is always be skeptical about your news sources. Kumbaga, in the online world, both readers and viewers should always be skeptical. Ito yung sinasabi nila na yung maraming clickbaits. Yung sinabi kanina ni Aaron na pinapalitan lang yung titles pero yung pala old articles, old journals na kumbaga it may be relevant sa ngayon pero entirely different story. It's also important that you read yung laman ng article, not just the title itself. Okay, and actually, what you can do, it may be cliche as it is, but media information literacy is one way of empowering young people. Kumbaga, to tell which one is fake news and which one yung facts. They say na medyo high-end or medyo, iba yung kumbaga, hindi naman lahat may chance or access to an opportunity to learn about media information, diba? Pero since you all have an access, you all have a chance to learn about what is right and wrong, ano yung facts, ano yung fake news, you must always take that seriously. Okay. In our world today, kumbaga, in our social media world today, marami yung tinatawag nating bots or trolls na tinatawag, diba? Sila yung sinasabi nating purveyor of fake news, sila yung ginagamit to spread this information. Lalo na ngayon nitong pandemic and especially during the past 2 elections. Kung mapapansin nyo. There are 3 things that I would like you as, of course, tech-savvy people or the TikTok generation to remember in getting your sources or getting your pieces of information. First is you need to always check the source. Are you being deceived by fake sources? Kasi minsan, di ba, kung matatandaan nyo, merong mga website na akala natin legit, halimbawa ABS-CBN, news.com. Yung pala, may 1 letter na hindi natin napansin. Iba pala, instead of E sa news, nakalagay 3. So, it's one way of saying if it's legit site or hindi. One way also to check yung source if kung walang about page, that's most likely something na mapapaisip ka bakit walang yung page na yun, yung website na yun walang page that would tell sino sila, ano yung goal nila, bakit may ganong website. Browser extensions are also one way of checking kung legit ba yung website. Okay. And ayun nga, sa Facebook, we can also check yung info and ads. Kumbaga, it shows transparency doon sa mga pages and ads that they are running. Kung legit pa siya or hindi. of course, you need to check the story itself. Real news are usually covered by more than one source. Kumbaga parang halimbawa yung ano bang latest news ngayon. Sabihin natin yung vaccination on athletes. Hindi na naman isang news agency ang magsusulat yan. Covered siya ng halos lahat ng network. Dahil it's a big story. Athletes are being vaccinated in preparation for their SEA Games and Olympics run. Pero kung ang source mo, ang story mo about that, kumbaga, may mga red flag or kumbaga hindi yung story na nababasa mo doon sa iba't ibang news site. Sometimes it happens na may ibang angulo sila. Pero most of the time, kapag mga ganung coverage, pare-parehas ng story yan. Kung may makita ka na isa lang story, kakaibang story, doon ka mapapaisip, legit ba to or fake news lang ba ako nito? Okay? And sometimes may mga story katulad nung was it, correct me if I'm right, kasi in Pia, yung kay Mocha Uson, in Soldiers, remember, that was few years ago. Yung mga ganon, we can always do reverse image search to check kung talaga bang legit yung ganong picture, kung talaga bang dito ko kinuha yun, or may ibang source pala ng ganong picture. And of course, yun nga yung sinasabi kanina nila na check the intention. Online, madali lang i-target yung audience kapag online. Pwede nilang i-set yung target nila to a specific group of people kung kanino lalabas yung information, yung specific information. Kumbaga, hindi naman siya masama as long as totoo yung information. Pero in our generation, yung TikTok generation, minsan tinatarget nila dahil feeling noong mga propagandists na parang mas madaling maikot yung or mas madaling mahikayat or I forget the right word. Mas madaling makuha yung thoughts ng mga bata. Minsan kasi parang mas madali silang mapapaniwala kaysa doon sa mga, let's say, yung mga boomers na buo na yung kanilang isip. So, ayun.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Dale. Okay. Aria, anong takeaway mo sa discuss ni Dale?
For me, Kuya, napansin ko sa tatlong speakers natin na magkakakonect yung mga talks nila, yung mga diniscuss nilang topics. So, siguro yung pinaka-takeaway ko sa talk ni Sir Dale is that we should always check on red flags, no? Kasi yun naman talaga yung pinaka-importanteng tinitignan dapat natin. Especially like dates, on yung kung sinong nag-publish nito na website and all. Kasi, alam mo ba Kuya, may naalala tuloy ako, ang number one na tawag dito, na natatamaan talaga ng fake news is youth or students, lalo na pag sa usapan ang date, lalo pag may nakikita tayo sa Facebook na #walang pasok, diba? We should really check kung legit ba yung nakukuha nating information or fake news ba ito. Kasi right now, kasi ang bilis talagang mag-spread ng fake news eh. So, lalo ngayong pandemic, ang inaasahan lang naman ng lahat sa atin is to gather information sa mga usap-usapan sa ating lipunan right now or sa ating own community. So, we should really check on our sources kung ito'y legit or hindi. Di ba, Kuya E?
Yes. Isa rin sa mga takeaway ko is that Dale mentioned na marami naman na ding mga tools that we can use to check if a particular article is a fake news or not. Tama, meron tayong mga hindi na lang yung parang you can check the date or data, even the images that are included in it. Meron na tayong mga platforms or like tools, online tools na you can use so that ma-validate natin if yung nandoon ba sa article na yan ay tunay o hindi. Pero syempre, minsan iisipin yan, consumer lang naman ako, I'm just looking at the internet. I'm just looking at the phone. Should I still need to do that? Parang it's so much effort to do that. Kaya siguro marami rin na nabibiktima.
Alam namin na marami pa kayong tanong tungkol sa fake news. Kaya sa susunod na episode, sasagutin namin ang lahat ng yan. Kaya huwag kalimutang mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming Facebook at Instagram account at Iba Tayong Pinoy. Ako si Dale.
Siyempre, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe din dito sa aming YouTube channel na Iba Tayong Pinoy. Ako po si Marlene.
At para po sa mga bagong episode, samahan niyo po kami lagi tuwing araw ng linggo, 2:00 ng hapon. Ako po si Maricel, ito ang trabaho at ipapa dito sa Iba Tayong Pinoy.